Let's talk about Zay Frank's newest video he just released today. It's called True Facts, Turtle Spiders of the Sea, and we're going to talk about references to secret societies and cults and the Illuminati, because I have been accusing Zay Frank for roughly the past 3 years openly on my YouTube channel and in my WordPress blog of being a member of a cult that I think engages in child abuse. So you can see here at the top, says Save the Turtle Spiders, True Facts. You can see it says it was released 10 hours ago. It's 9:09 p.m. Now, anybody who knows YouTube knows that they tend to roughly round it off to the nearest hour. So 9 p.m. and it was released 10 hours ago. He probably released it at 11 a.m. this morning. We're going to talk about some numerology first. Remember, secret societies, like the Freemasons, love numerology. They are really into numbers. Numbers are sort of almost everything in at least the physical world in material existence can be boiled down to numbers. Binary code, for example, can be almost everything can be crunched down into data that's just ones and zeros. Every number has an essence and an energy behind it. The Freemasons, they have, the 32nd degree, 33rd degree Masons. They are really into numbers, all right? Most secret societies and cults that are into the occult, they are really into numbers. So the numbers here matter. They're important. The time that he releases his videos is important. The date he releases his video on, it's important. So he released it at 11 a.m. 11 is a power number. In numerology, any number that's doubled, like 11, 22, 33, 44, those are considered to be power numbers. So that's significant. The number 2, which 11 adds down to the number 2 because 1 plus 1 is 2, and that's how you do it in numerology. You add down numbers. The number 2 is also significant in many ways. I believe it's associated with the soul. It's associated with the swans. It looks like a swan, the number 2. But swans also typically they come in pairs. They're known to mate for life. And swans are associated with the soul as well, going all the way back as far back as ancient Sanskrit texts. They used the swan to symbolize the soul. So thousands of years ago, for thousands of years, the swan has been associated with the soul. Now let's really quickly look at we'll put this up real quick. Let's look at the date. The date he's releasing this on is the 10th of July, 2025. So again, we're going to do some numerology. We're going to add some numbers up here. Now, the month of July is 7. The day is 10, and the year is 2025. So you would add the day down. In numerology, you would just add the 1 and the 0, and that adds up to 1. Then you would add the month, which is 7, to the day, which is 1. So that gives you 8. And then the year, 2025, 2 plus 2, 2 plus 0 plus 2 is 4, and then plus 5 is 9. So the year 2025 adds up to 9. 9 plus any other number just adds down to that number. So again, the month and the day add up to 8. We're going to add 8 to 9. 8 plus 9 is 17, and then 1 plus 7 is 8. You get it? If you added 6 plus 9, 6 plus 9 is 15, and then 1 plus 5 is 6. So any number added to the number 9 just adds right back down to that number. So he's posting this video on a day that adds basically down to the number 8. So the day is 8, and the time that he posted it is a power number as 11 a.m. Keep that in mind. And the 11 adds down to 2. 8, really quickly, let's just look at the number 8. 8 is very important to secret societies, particularly Freemasons, and even the Illuminati, and I will give you some evidence of that. So we've got like 8-pointed stars here. You can see these are common. This is like the Maltese cross right there. So it's a cross, it's a plus sign, so it's got sort of like 4 appendages, but those appendages have 2 points each. So that's an 8-pointed star. There's an example. I've heard some messed up things, some horrible things about the Maltese order, that particular branch of the Masons. And let me see if I can just bring it up here. Here's an example, one example of a pretty well-known Freemason, Adolphus Frederick IV. You guys can go back there, go online. There are lists and lists and lists, long lists, online of famous Freemasons going back throughout history. And even current Freemasons. So some of the more current Freemasons are, Jesse Jackson, Buzz Aldrin, Richard Pryor was a Freemason. And right here, 8. If you go bring up portraits, particularly of the old aristocratic and royal Freemasons, and they're all dressed up in their regalia, they're almost always wearing an 8-pointed star. So we got an 8-pointed star there. There'll be some more examples down here. Here we go. Charles II, Grand Duke of Mecklenburg Strelitz. I don't know. 8-pointed star. It's a little bit hidden there, but it's an 8-pointed star. Here we go. 8-pointed star. So these guys are really into the number 8. They're really into the 8-pointed star. There we go. We've got another, looks like a Maltese cross. So it's like a cross plus sign with 4 appendages, but each appendage has 2 points at the end. So 8 points. So this is how so it can count as both like the cross, like it's kind of like a Rosicrucian cross, but it's got 2 points at each end. So now it's got 8 points. Got me? You get it? So this is how symbolism works in secret societies, guys. They wear their symbols. And now let's have a look at 8-pointed star. Well, let's just look at, I'll just take you right to what it is. Chaos symbol. There we go. It's an 8-pointed star. These people worship chaos. So right here, the chaos symbol, it's a single point in the center with 8 arrows pointing out in all directions. It means volatility. It means inertia without direction. So it just goes out in all directions. The number 8 itself. Number 8. So look at it as being like a roller coaster. All right, roller coaster goes up, roller coaster goes down. Roller coaster goes up, roller coaster goes down. Chaos, up and down, up and down, up and down. And if you look up the typical sugar-coated meaning for the number 8, if you look up what the number 8 means, you'll get the sugar-coated version. Power, authority, ambition, material success. Sometimes it means balance. And it's typically considered to be a symbol of life, meaning life. A strong drive for achievement and abundance, often associated with leadership. But I've seen, so every single time that I have looked up, number 8 meaning, the AI overview for Google has given me a different, a different definition, but it all kind of roughly runs along the same vein. So these are some of the more sugar-coated meanings of the number 8. However, the darker side of the number 8 is chaos. It is a symbol of chaos. It is a number of chaos, right? Chaos is a part of life. So these people worship chaos. They're chaos worshipers. They wear the number 8 all over themselves. They love the number 8. I doubt very much, though, that they like to cause chaos for themselves. It's more likely that they like to cause chaos for other people and for society in general. But they probably like to help each other they probably like to keep themselves out of chaos. And likely work to help each other from suffering too much chaos in their lives, right? So they're little, what do you call it? What's the word? Oh, hypocrites who have the symbol for chaos all over them and are chaos worshipers. But I doubt very much that they enjoy having too much chaos in their lives. Most people don't enjoy it, right? So again, roller coaster goes up, roller coaster goes down. Roller coaster goes up, roller coaster goes down. Chaos. And it's all over Freemasonry. And let's get into the Illuminati. So most of you probably know of Dan Brown. He wrote the Da Vinci Code. And they made a movie about it, right? So most of you have probably at least seen the movie. He also wrote the sequel to that is Angels and Demons. And they also made that movie. There we go. There's a movie poster, and it stars Tom Hanks. He plays the main character, Professor Langdon, who is a professor of symbols. He knows ancient symbols, secret society symbols. He knows what they mean. And he uses his knowledge to solve the problems and stop the bad guys and blah, blah, blah. Well, in Angels and Demons, the basic plot is it gives the appearance of the Illuminati versus the Roman Catholic Church. So you're led to believe that the Illuminati they are attacking the Roman Catholic Church. They've murdered the Pope and abducted some of the preferori, I think they're called, the preferred cardinals, the ones who were preferred for the next position of Pope. And Professor Langdon himself, in the movie, go watch the movie, Angels and Demons. You can watch it for free on YouTube. I just watched it for free on YouTube. Again, I hadn't seen it in years. He literally says in the movie, the Illuminati like the number 8. They like the number 8. Okay, they operate within secret societies like Freemasonry. So they are kind of like the inner circle within Freemasons, in case you guys didn't know. And they likely operate within other secret societies. So, and again, it's a symbol of chaos. It's a number of life, yes, but you can't have life without at least some chaos. So, and it corresponds with the chaos symbol. He also says that they prefer the number 5. That is the number of the devil, quite simply, without totally getting into it. But 5, so if you break down the number 8 into 5 and 3, so the 5, from what I've seen, what I've studied, as near as I can tell, the 5 stands for 5 different elements: earth, air, fire, water. But then it also stands for a 5th element. There's a whole movie called The 5th Element, which is, it depends on I think for different societies, secret societies and groups, it might be slightly different. They might consider the 5th element to be an intangible element like spirit or soul or mind. As far as I can tell, at least when it comes to devil worship and worshiping things like the Abrasics, which Zay Frank makes reference to. Abrasics. This is a demonic. This was an ancient deity. It was worshipped over 1,000 years ago, all around the Mediterranean. So the 5th element, so earth, air, fire, water are the first 4, and then the 5th element, I believe, stands for animal and man, That seems to be a whole other element. Earth covers, dirt, but also plant life and such. But then the fifth element would be, flesh, basically. Animal, man. But then that leaves the number 3, because remember, we're trying to get this to add up to 8. 8 is supposed to be everything. It's supposed to be life and all of that. Well, in order to make life, like, what are the elements of life? You've got the 4 main basic elements that everyone knows of: earth, air, fire, water. Then you need animal, flesh, right? Because real life, because they say, for example, an unobserved life. I've heard of a few ways, an unobserved life is not a life at all, so on and so forth. And how can lower life forms like plants, how can they observe their own lives and really think about them in the kinds of depths that a human being might? So now we're getting into some philosophy there that I hesitate to get into for this video, so we'll just let that go. Some people would say that only human beings live real lives. I've definitely heard that implied in certain philosophies, that only human beings are capable of truly living because we have the ability to observe our own lives and think about our own lives and figure out why we live. And, whereas lower life forms, they might be alive in a very basic sense, but they're unable to really think as deeply as we can, and so they don't have, they live unobservant lives. And so how much are they really alive is the question there. Well, let's not go down that path. So we're breaking down the number 8 into 5. 5 is a big number for these people. I already just explained the 5: earth, air, fire, water, animal, or man, flesh, right? And then that leaves us with the number 3. Because 8 minus 5 is 3. So 3, as far as I can tell, likely stands for the intangible things. So I think it's possibly spirit, soul, and the third being mind, heart, will. Something along those lines. Something that basically implies motive. What drives you. That sort of thing. So you put all of this together, and that's what gives you real life, or the life of a human being, really. You need earth, air, fire, water. Our bodies are, and you need flesh. But then you also need, so those are the tangible elements. Our bodies, our flesh need water. We need water. We need air in our lungs. We need earth. We need, grounding. We need vegetation. If we lived on a planet without vegetation or good soil, we'd be effed. We wouldn't exist. And we need fire to some extent, right? Warmth, so on and so forth. But then, so those are all the tangible qualities that you need for life. Well, you also need intangible qualities. You need spirit, that animating force that animates the flesh, soul, and then mind, or willpower, your mind, your heart. Like, where does your heart lie? What is your motive? These are all the other qualities necessary for life, the intangible qualities. So the 3 are the intangible qualities. The 5 are the tangible material qualities. You add the 5 to the 3 and you get an 8, which is life. So that's as best as I can tell. I could be a little bit off, but based on all my studies of these different symbols and obscure deities and numbers, numerology, that's what I've pieced together thus far. All right. So just like the Abrasics here, he stands for bringing together of multiple elements. So you can see that, the snakes stand for, water and darkness, and then the crow, or not the crow, the rooster head stands for light and daytime. You understand? The snakes are probably considered to be a feminine aspect, whereas the rooster is considered to be a masculine aspect. The whip rod here in his hand stands for force, power, will. So it's all of these things, all the material elements brought together, but driven by will, because you need that will to kind of, drive you forward. You need a reason to go to live. You need a reason to live. It's maybe not enough to just be alive. You need a reason for it. You need things that you want, a drive, so on and so forth. Anyway. All right, so I think I've discussed the number 8 enough, and the 8-pointed star, and how secret societies love it, and the Illuminati love it. They love the number 8. It's all over them. They wear it. And they make references to it in their work. Oh, I think we lost the video we were looking at, so let's just come back here. Zay Frank.
Would it be a bad idea if you use...
Shush. One of his sponsors... Oh, shoot, I lost it. Let's see if we can get it back. So he had a sponsor... One of his sponsors for this video... Looks like it was Drip Drop. Oh, come on.
Each year in the Delaware...
Hush. Oh, now we don't see the sponsors. Okay, well, one of his sponsors, underneath of the videos, you would be able to see the sponsor. And I had it recorded previously, but I deleted that recording because I wanted to go more extensively into the numerology. Let's do... But one of the sponsors for this video, it looks like he chose Drip Drop. And I do think you can choose your sponsors. Images. Right here. So the image that would come up under his video for his sponsor, for the Drip Drop sponsor, was this. And it was within a circle. And so it made like a cross. You see? Like that. So even though from afar, and that's a good designer, by the way, somebody who designs logos, they will create an image that has several different layered meanings. So Drip Drop, you can see it looks like it's got 4 different drops, water droplets here, but then you can also see it forms like, oh, like a Maltese cross almost. Oh, so again, he's choosing his sponsors. And remember, these Freemasons and secret society people and Illuminati people, they start businesses like this all the time, like Capri Sun. Capri Sun is totally run by people who are in secret societies. Capri, spelled Khepri, but still pronounced Capri, was an ancient Egyptian beetle god, and he was a sun god. He was a god of the sun. Capri Sun. Okay, get it? I'll give you another example really quickly of how a logo will have several, different meanings. The Amazon logo. Let's just look at that. Amazon logo. Right here. Here we go. Woohoo. So Amazon, I'm sure you guys have noticed, see this little arrow right here? Most people just think it looks like a smile. Oh, it's a smile. It's so friendly and happy. Well, yeah, it's meant to look like a smile. You're right. But it's also meant to be an arrow pointing from A to Z. So means we have everything from A to Z. Do you see how a good logo designer, they will design a logo that can have several layered meanings. So it's friendly, it's happy, it's got a smile, but it's also at the same time an arrow pointing from A to Z. Meaning Amazon carries everything. They sell everything from A to Z. That's what that logo means. A lot of people don't realize that. But yeah. So yeah, Drip Drop. The Drip Drop logo. Let's just pull up Drip Drop logo. There we go. You see the cross in there? It's not just meant to be 4 water droplets. It's meant to show a cross. It's meant to show something that looks very much like the Maltese Cross, Rosicrucian Cross, which is used by secret societies. And these guys all help each other. They advertise each other. They sponsor each other. You get what I'm saying now? So I would not be surprised to find that the people who came up with the Drip Drop Company are a part of the same secret society network as Zay Frank here, whose video is being sponsored by Drip Drop. That's one of the sponsors for his video.
Have you ever dreamed about living in glorious harmony with nature and like-minded individuals, going off-grid and being...
But I don't want to hear
Each year in the Delaware Bay at the southern...
So yeah, one of the times that I brought up this video, a few of the times I brought up this video, right here, just under the window where it shows sponsors, one of the sponsors was Drip Drop. So this is how, like, they kind of circulate money around amongst themselves. This is how Illuminati, secret society, little dweebs all support each other and keep each other rich and fat and happy, and then keep anybody else who isn't in their little boys club poor, you know? So his buddies are basically supporting him financially. All right, so there. So we just broke down, remember how we got to talking about the number 8. He released this video today, July 10th, 2025, which adds down, in numerology, it adds down to the number 8. He released it at a time at 11 a.m. That's a power number. And it adds down to 2. Now, I'm not going to play this whole video for you. I've watched it through. Go ahead and watch it yourselves if you'd like. But let's just go look at the minute marker 28. So remember, the time he released it was 11. That adds down to 2. He released it on the date that adds down to 8. So I'm just going to play it a few seconds before. Oh, my cats are being naughty. I'm going to start playing it a few seconds before. And I want you to pay attention to what he says at minute marker 2, second 8. He says a specific location. By the way, for this particular video, he goes down to my hometown in Cape May, New Jersey. My hometown is Cape May, New Jersey. It's within the Cape May County, New Jersey. So the entire lower peninsula of New Jersey is Cape May County. And he mentions a specific location in Cape May County. So let's...
In the Slim Jim at the Whitney Houston service area, these birds eat caviar at Reed Beach. And
Reed Beach. So 2:08, he said at minute marker 2:08, 2 minutes and 8 seconds in. Started it. There we go. 2:08.
Reed Beach.
Reed Beach. Reed Beach. Reed Beach. Let's pull that up. So I have been saying for a while now that I think these people have been kind of stalking me, gang stalking me, keeping track of me, where I am. So I've recently been living down in Florida, in Daytona Beach, Florida. But again, I'm from Cape May, New Jersey. I was in Cape May for several months. My whole family lives in Cape May. So they live down here on the island, the most tippy tip point of the peninsula of Cape May. You can see right there, there's the town, the proper town. And then you've got West Cape May and North Cape May and blah, blah, blah. But this whole peninsula here, again, that's Cape May County. This entire peninsula is Cape May County, New Jersey. Reed Beach. So the last time I was up in New Jersey, I was in an RV for like 1 to 2 years, roughly ish. I was in like a couple of different RVs. I was traveling around the country. So I went out to Texas, Colorado, LA, so on and so forth, and then came back around and came back to New Jersey. So for a while I was in New Jersey in an RV. I was visiting with family, so on and so forth. One of the places, so again, down here is the Cape May area. The Wetlands Institute that he talks about in the video is right here by Stone Harbor. Again, still all Cape May County, and all within like 20 minutes drive of each other. Like from Cape May town proper up to Stone Harbor is maybe about 15 to 20 minute drive. But Reed's Beach is right out here on the Delaware Bay. I'll show you right there. It's kind of, so it's like a straight shot from Route 47 right there. And it's kind of this little isolated area. There's just one road going out there, you see? Reed's Beach Road. And it's a little isolated cluster of houses, beach houses out on the beach there. I slept out here many, many times when I was in my RV. When I was back home in Cape May visiting, I was there for a few months. I was coming out here and sleeping in my RV. Yeah. So like I said, I think these people have been gang stalking. Oh, they're like, I have right here, I have parked up my RV right here at the very end at the Reed's Beach jetty. And I have lots of pictures of, you know, my RV parked here. My cat's playing on, you know, around on the rocks there. Sunsets right there. So, yeah. In fact, I think I might have even shown at some point in previous videos while scrolling through old, like, because I, like, just like right now, I'm showing you guys, I'm scrolling through videos and pictures on my phone. Here we go. Here's some pictures of my cats in my last RV. I drove it down here to Florida, by the way, and then I got an apartment. I sold it and got an apartment. Oh my goodness. Right here. So there have been times during these videos I've been making where I have, you know, scrolled back through my images to find stuff to show you guys. And what do you want to bet? Maybe at some point he saw some of these pictures I have of Reed's Beach, sunsets and stuff at Reed's Beach, and my cats playing out here at Reed's Beach. Reed's Beach. This is right there at the end at the jetty that I was showing you guys on the map. Oh my. You don't suppose he's stalking me or anything. I mean, there's my old RV. You can see it there. And it's parked up right here at the end of that jetty. It's at the end of Reed's Beach, looking out over the ocean. Again, keep in mind, I've spent the last 3 years talking about Ze Frank and how I think he's a member of a cult that engages in child abuse. And a lot of the videos that I've made, I've had to, you know, open up my pictures here and scroll back and find different pictures to show you guys, you know, to prove something or the other. And so I've got a bunch of pictures. You know, look, there's my cat, Perseus, out at Reed's Beach, stalking something. So, yeah. I've got a bunch of pictures of me parked up, camping, spending the night at Reed's Beach. I believe I was out there a few times. So yeah. Just to show you guys, he drove all the way down to my hometown. He only recently moved. Again, I said this in recent videos. He just recently moved down to New Jersey from Massachusetts, but he lives up in North Jersey. The fact that he decided to make a video about the Wetlands Institute down in Cape May, down in South Jersey, near my hometown, is creepy. He's doing like a fundraiser for the Wetlands Institute. Hey guys, he lived in Massachusetts prior to this for like 4 years. I don't think he did a single fundraiser for anything in Massachusetts. Before Massachusetts, he lived out in California for the better part of a decade. I don't think he did any fundraisers for anything out in California. Not that I know of. Right? For all the time he lived out there. He lived in Brooklyn before that, and he grew up around Albany, New York. So he spent a large chunk of his life in New York. I don't think he's done any fundraisers for anything in New York. Right? But he's just moved down to New Jersey, North Jersey. There are no wetlands in North Jersey. All right? That's right there next to the city, next to New York City. He's now living about 45 minutes outside of New York City, in the suburbs of northern Jersey. There are no wetlands up there. But he does live right down the street. Like, literally, he could probably walk there. He lives right down the street from a big wildflower preserve area, which is also very important because it helps support natural bug and insect life and butterflies that you'd think that would be right up his alley. He loves talking about bugs. So you'd think he would do a fundraiser for that place. I mean, he wouldn't have to drive 2.5 hours down to Cape May, right? He could just walk down the freaking street, right down the street from his new house to the wildflower preserve area. But no, he instead chose to do a fundraiser that would take him down to my hometown, right? And out to a beach that I spent a lot of time on, camping out there in my RV. And even like at times, like kind of daydreamed about, like, I wish if only I could buy a house out here. It's so peaceful and cute. It's a nice little secluded community out on the beaches. I loved it there. And now he just goes out there and ruins it for me. There we go. So yeah, think about that, guys. Again, I've spent 3 years accusing this guy of being a member of a secret society network that I think is connected with Freemasonry and possibly with whatever current modern day version of the Illuminati is still around. I think that they engage in child trafficking, child abuse, incest with their own children. I've been accusing him of this publicly, openly, for 3 years now. He knows about me. It's not hard to figure out where I come from. It's all over my social media. My Facebook page is mostly public. You can easily go there and see that I'm from Cape May. My whole family still lives in Cape May. So even though I've lived in other places, I definitely go back to Cape May pretty frequently. Like, I still go back there at least every few months to every couple of years or so. And I was just considering moving back to the area, at least to New Jersey. Somewhere in New Jersey. I don't know if I'm going to do that now, though, because now Zay Frank is in New Jersey. I don't know. But yeah, creepy, right? Creepy. And he's out at Reed's Beach. He was out at Reed's Beach. So there's that. And then I think it's also funny. It's interesting. I'm not going to play the video too much, but you can see. So I've made videos within the last couple of weeks. So you can go back and look at videos in the last couple of weeks. There we go. There's a shot where I kind of poke fun at him. And I'm like, so you think that, you're so great because you went out on a beach and filmed yourself standing next to some horseshoe crabs and talking about how they need help, and now you're like, I'm a hero. And I said, well, what the real, heroes do, what the real locals do around there is we go walk out on the jetties and we walk around on the dunes and the beaches and we find the stranded horseshoe crabs, the ones that are stuck up in the dunes or wedged between rocks, and we get them unstuck and we put them back in the water. We actually put real effort into it. And so then, of course, so I was making those comments because he was posting clips to his Patreon. So I'll show you real quick for those of you who are new to this, just arriving to this whole thing. Zay Frank Patreon. So for the last couple of weeks or so, he has been posting little update clips, previews showing that he's been working on a video about horseshoe crabs. And he just released the full video today. And so, of course, and saying, that he basically went down to Cape May County, New Jersey, which I had a lot to say about that. So I've been making little videos commenting on this whole thing. And yeah, go figure, now the full video that he's released, the finalized version he's released. He's showing himself. Let's see if it'll bring it back up. Yeah, he's filmed himself saving the horseshoe
Trapped
crab.
on steeply eroded beaches and man-made structures like jetties and stairs. And if they can't return to the ocean, they die. So this is where the good people at the wetlands...
So there's that. So maybe I hit a nerve, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, and then one little thing, like towards the very end, I'm not going to try to find it or play it. But, oh, maybe right about here.
Conditions for their survival. The Wetlands Institute is a non-profit. I've put a link to their donation page in the description. And if you ever happen to be in the Delaware Bay, go and say hi.
If you ever happen to be in the Delaware Bay, go and say hi. So another thing that I did say in one of my videos I released within the last couple weeks, commenting on his Patreon clips, is like, hey, while you're down there in Cape May, why don't you pop on by my mom's house and say hi, and I'm sure she'll bake you a batch of cookies and blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of like it does seem like he's responding to the things I'm saying to some extent. He could have shown a lot of things about these horseshoe crabs. He could have talked about a lot of different things about these horseshoe crabs. Instead, he chose to show he dedicated a substantial portion of this video to showing himself saving horseshoe crabs, saving the horseshoe crabs, the way I said that the locals like to do it. So, yeah, and he went out to Reed's Beach. Just the fact that he went down to Cape May County area, my hometown area at all. So again, I'll just show you guys. Right here on the maps. Reed's Beach, that's where he went to. This right here at the very end, that's where I showed you pictures of my RV camped out there. So I used to sleep out there. I used to just camp out there in my RV and sleep out there, go out on the beaches and stuff. It's just a little secluded community out on the beach there. And there's one road going out there. That's it. Reed's Beach Road. That's it. And then again, it's not too far north. Again, maybe about a 20-minute drive total from my hometown, Cape May. I grew up on the island here, Cape May, New Jersey. And I grew up also a little bit in North Cape May. Right here, roughly the area where it says like Lower Township, that's considered to be North Cape May. Because my grandmother's house is up around here, right? And so right here, my dad's family had a farm going way, way back. Going way back for generations. And let's see if I can find it. It's here on Seashore Road. And it's about... I'm looking for the barn. But yeah, so I grew up in one of these houses here. Part of the time. My dad lived there. My parents divorced when I was like 4 years old. So I went back and forth between staying with my dad. Yeah, it's right here. So you can see the barn there. They added to it. This whole section here. No. They didn't add to it. They just added solar panels. So I grew up playing in the hayloft of that barn. And playing also in the silo there. I don't know. They still have the silo up. That's the original silo. They kind of looks like they rebuilt and redid a lot of the barn itself. They use it. So it's owned by a company now that makes fish nets. And they use the barn for making their fishing nets. But they kept the original silo. I don't know if they keep anything in there still. It was totally empty when I was growing up. And I used to go in there and listen to the rain. Because the rain would make these really cool sounds. When it hit the empty silo. And that's right there is the farmhouse. that I grew up in, or where my dad lived, and I spent a chunk of my childhood there, and then the rest of my childhood living in a few different locations down here on the island with my mom in the Cape May area. And then my grandmother also lived up in North Cape May, so we spent a lot of time with her. I have an aunt and cousins that lived over here in Wildwood. I spent a lot of time here in Wildwood. So yeah, Cape May, this whole peninsula. We went to the Cape May County Zoo right up here a lot. So this is my turf. This is where I grew up. And he's hanging out down there talking about horseshoe crabs. And when he's he's not from there. He just recently, within the past year, moved up here. And he decided within a year of moving to Jersey, he was going to do something for, way down here. But he lives up here in like Maplewood. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's right around here, this area. Yeah. And again, it's right near, Great Peace Meadows. So right here. Maplewood is right about here somewhere, I believe. Let's just, instead of doing all this nonsense, let's just go Maplewood, New Jersey. There it is. So he lives in Maplewood, New Jersey now, and he lives over here somewhere. And you see this big kind of preserve area over here that he could pretty much walk to? He lives on, Mountain Avenue? Mountain, somewhere around here. I'm not going to go around looking for it, but it's right around here. It's like he could walk down the street to this big kind of nature preserve area up where he lives in North Jersey. But did he do a fundraiser for that area? No, he didn't. He felt the need to drive 2.5 hours all the way to frick down here. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I just think, it's Creepersville. It's kind of Creepersville, Creepy McGee. Behavior. What do you guys think? All right.